Welcome! My name is Like It's 1985, and today we are going to take a look at Transformers Generations Deluxe Class IDW version of Megatron. And the IDW version, of course, is found in the IDW comic. So that is the design that this particular figure is based on. Now, to start off the review, I want to talk about the size of the figure. Yes, this is a deluxe class figure. I really would have liked to seen a Voyager class figure based on this design. Now, having said that, we should feel lucky that Hasbro has given us this design at all in a deluxe class form. But yeah, Voyager class would be awesome, would be epic, considering this is a iconic leader of the Decepticons, and that the vehicle mode and the actual robot mode look really fantastic. So they could have done a lot more with a Voyager class figure. Now, having said that, I do want to focus on size comparisons before we get into the actual details of this figure. Let me go ahead and bring in the Deluxe Class War for Cybertron Megatron. And yeah, you can see quite a difference in size there. So there is that issue. So there's that comparison. Let me bring in the Seeker Classics mold here. This happens to be Thundercracker. And you can see the size difference. Now he might be a little taller with his legs closer together, but still, you can see there's the size comparison there. And finally, let me bring in Generations Scourge, which is actually appropriate since his alt form is very similar to Megatron's alt form. And there you go. Whoops. So you get an idea of the size there as well. So, moving on, let's take a look at the details of the figure, starting with the head sculpt here. Very nice. You can see it on his forehead. There is a sort of an M design, and I believe that's on purpose. So there's, like you can see right there, is the M design. Nice head sculpt and nice robot design. Really, I do like this a lot. He does have the hollow legs, because the legs actually fold on themselves for the transformation. But very nicely detailed, nice colors, really nice robot mode. Now it does come with a weapon. There's this weapon here that actually will peg into his forearm, which is the iconic look for any Megatron incarnation. So he does have that capability. Now you could put it in his hand, although, you know, that's not really, in my opinion, the iconic look for Megatron. There's just a little peg here. You can peg it into his hand like that. But of course, he looks much better with it on his forearm. So these will turn into the wing sections for the vehicle mode. I do really like this weapon that comes with Megatron. As you can see, it has some purple translucent plastic here, and you can actually slide the barrel back to hide those translucent bits, so it's pretty cool. For the actual transformation, though, for the gun mode, they're supposed to be out like this. Now what you can do for the transformation into the wing mode, you want to make sure these are all back into that position, separate the wings, and these will become the two parts of the wings that actually will get attached once the main part of the vehicle mode is transformed. So, articulation, his head actually is on a ball joint, so he does have range of movement there. Shoulders, as you can see, are on a ball joint, so wide range of posability there. You have a swivel at the bicep, bend at the elbow, about 90 degrees, and no real articulation here at the hands. They do fold in for the transformation. There is no waist articulation, but you do have the legs on ball joints, so no problem there posing the figure. Swivel just above the knee, bend at the knee, and that's all you really have for articulation for this figure. So, and with that said, let's go ahead and take a look at the transformation into vehicle form or jet form. And here we are in vehicle mode for Megatron, and it looks pretty darn cool. Lots of nice sculpting detail with the lines here etched into the plastic. Nice paint apps as well. And the actual robot kibble was pretty well hidden. I guess I forgot to turn around Megatron's head to actually hide his face, but oh well. You get the idea there. I like the detail as far as the M design. You can see it right here. That looks like a M, a letter, as well as here on what was the shoulder armor. There's also the M design there as well. So really cool. And with that said, let's go ahead and take a look at a size comparison. Let me go ahead and bring in Scourge here in vehicle form. You can see he is a bit bigger, but shares a similar design in terms of vehicle mode. You can see that maybe that's a little better size comparison. You can see that Megatron doesn't quite cover up Scourge here in vehicle form. So there are the two size comparisons there. So there is that. And let me go ahead and bring in Thundercracker in vehicle form. You can take a look at the size comparison there. Once again, it would have been nice to see Megatron in Voyager class form. It would make a more impressive robot as well as vehicle form. But nonetheless, a cool design. I do like it a lot. And once you get the transformation down, it's actually pretty simple. And a little bit of a parts former with these wing tips here that form the gun in the robot mode. Okay, so now that we've had a look at the actual figure, let's take a look at the comic depiction of Megatron. You can see here the comic that does come with the figure. Features a very, very nice cover art here of Megatron. Fantastic. Really cool. And you can see the design of the comic does carry over to the actual toy form, which is good. You can see the events of this comic do take place prior to the events of Transformers Volume 3, Revenge of the Decepticons. And basically the comic does start off with Megatron awakening, and he actually has a new form. He's been reformatted into his current form. And you can see there. So basically when he awakens, he actually finds his Decepticons in very bad shape. They've lost a very long and prolonged fight with the Autobots, and they're in bad shape. You can see there's pictures of battle damage there. It's really interesting. This guy has lost his hands. So they're low on resources and just low on morale. And basically what we learn is that Starscream here has been taking over the leadership in Megatron's absence. And he's basically run the Decepticon army into the ground. He's done a poor job apparently of leading the Decepticons. This comic has very nice artwork and really features a plot point that we've seen in previous versions of cartoons and comics. Is basically the iconic battle between Megatron and Starscream, and the fact that Starscream is always questioning Megatron's authority and basically trying to take over the leadership of the Decepticons. And really, this is a plot point that Michael Bay should have exploited in his trilogy. Maybe we'll see it in the Transformers 4 movie. I'm not holding my breath, though. It was mentioned, there was a brief scene in one of the movies where Megatron questions, or I should say Starscream questions Megatron's authority, but it's a very brief amount of screen time. And by the movie I'm referring to, of course, Michael Bay's trilogy. So I really hope that we see more of a plot point exploiting this dynamic relationship between Starscream and Megatron. But back to the comic, this is basically Starscream and Megatron battling it out. And some really nice artwork featured there. And actually, it's a good read. Not just the fact that the illustrations are so dynamic and cool, but it actually gives you a nice insight into Megatron's thoughts. These square boxes here are Megatron's thoughts. It's not actual dialogue, but Megatron's inner dialogue, if you will. So really nice. I'm kind of spending a lot of time here on the artwork, but you know, it kind of gives you a nice look at what the comic is all about and what the style of artwork is. So there you go. That's basically a look at the comic that does come with Megatron here. So as I said before, the size of the figure would have been much more epic in a Voyager class form, but as I stated before also, we should be grateful to Hasbro for releasing this version of Megatron at all. So in that regard, I do like the figure. Really cool robot mode, really cool vehicle mode. Like I said, the only thing I could ask for maybe is a Voyager class figure. Alright, well thanks for watching. This has been my review of Transformers Generations Deluxe Class IDW Megatron.